Okay, let's dive into a technology that isn't just another app or a minor upgrade. We're talking about a massive shift in how we work and how businesses operate. AI agents. We're going to break down what they are, how they work, and why they are, quite literally, set to redefine everything. Right out of the gate, the report we're looking at makes this incredibly bold claim. It calls this the biggest shift since cloud computing. And you know what? That's not just hype. This really sets the stage for what we're talking about. This isn't an update. It's a total transformation of our relationship with tech. So here's our game plan. First, we'll tackle the big picture, the paradigm shift itself. Then we'll get under the hood and look at the anatomy of an agent. After that, we'll see them in action in the real world, talk about the crucial rules of engagement, and finally, peek into what this autonomous future is really going to look like. So, what is this paradigm shift really? Well, it's all about AI evolving from something that's just a passive tool we use into an active partner, a teammate. Let's look at the journey to get here. It's kind of wild how fast this has all happened. Just think back a couple of years to the tool era. AI was basically about rigid, fixed automation. Then came the model era, which gave us chatbots that could understand and synthesize information. But the real leap is happening right now, the agent era, where AI doesn't just talk about doing things, it actually goes and does them, all on its own. And this gets right to the heart of it. A standard large language model, an LLM, is reactive, right? You give it a prompt, it gives you back some text. It's amazing, for sure, but it's stuck inside a chat window. An AI agent is totally different. It's proactive. You don't give it a prompt, you give it a goal. And it doesn't just talk, it acts. It connects to apps, uses tools, and takes real steps in the digital world to make that goal a reality. So how does an agent actually pull this off? It's not magic, even though it can feel like it. There's a really clear architecture behind all this. Let's pop the hood and see what makes these things tech. Honestly, the best way to think about it is to compare it to a person. At the center, you have the reasoning engine. That's the brain, usually a powerful LLM. Then it has a memory system, so it can remember the context of what it's doing from one moment to the next. It has tool use. Think of these as the hands that can actually use software and APIs. And maybe most importantly, it's got a planning module, which is like its prefrontal cortex, letting it take a big, complex goal and break it down into a smart, step-by-step plan. And just like people, agents can work solo or in teams. A single agent is awesome for a straightforward, focused task. It's fast, it's simple. But for the really complex stuff, you'll want a multi-agent system. It's like having a project team of specialists, an agent for research, another for coding, another for security, all working together. The catch, of course, is that managing that team costs more and adds a layer of complexity. So how does a team of agents coordinate? They can't just hop on a Slack channel, right? They need a clear, structured way to communicate. And that's exactly what the agent-to-agent, or A2A protocol is. Think of it as a universal language for agents that lets them find each other, negotiate tasks, and collaborate without any confusion. Okay, so this is all way more than just a cool theory. Let's talk about where the rubber meets the road. How are AI agents actually delivering real value right now? What's the business impact look like? And the results are, well, they're pretty staggering. We're not talking about tiny incremental gains. In sales, we're seeing a 22% jump in conversion rates. In customer support, agents are handling up to 90% of all inquiries from start to finish. And get this, in finance, the ROI is a whopping 210%, with the system paying for itself in less than 6 months. This is happening today. But here's the reality check. You'd think with numbers like that, every company on the planet would be all in. But not so fast. Only about 34% of organizations are really leveraging these systems yet. And you might be surprised by the reason why. The biggest hurdle isn't the AI, it's the data. If an agent doesn't have clean, high-quality data to work with, it's essentially flying blind. Okay, so when you have technology this powerful and this autonomous, the next question is obvious. How do you control it? How do you put up the guardrails to make sure these agents operate safely and do what you want them to do and nothing else? The answer isn't one simple fix. It's a whole layered defense system. You start at the prompt level, defining the agent's core mission. Then you add action-level guardrails, like whitelisting the only tools it's allowed to use, or setting a hard budget cap. For really high-stakes decisions, you bring in a human in the loop for final approval. And watching over all of it is a broad safety framework. And it's not just about what companies build for themselves. Formal regulation is coming, and it's coming fast. The EU AI Act, kicking in around 2026, creates legally binding rules. It's based on risk, which means that for anyone building or deploying agents, compliance isn't just a good idea anymore, it's absolutely mission critical. So, when you pull all these threads together, you see the crucial point. This isn't just a better tool. This is the groundwork for a fundamentally new kind of economy. We are at the dawn of the autonomous era. This is where we really have to shift our thinking. We're moving toward a future where we don't just use agents, we hire them. Specialized agents are going to start taking on formal roles right on our org charts. They'll be autonomous teammates working right alongside us to hit our goals. A new kind of employee needs a new kind of workplace, right? Well, the same is true for our software. We're evolving from traditional architecture to an AI-native design. Just imagine an intelligent, agentic layer sitting on top of every application you use, orchestrating everything. This eventually leads to what are being called agent operating systems. Our tech will become intent-driven. You won't click through a dozen menus. You'll just state your goal, and a network of agents will figure out the rest. And all of this leads to one final huge question. A question for all of us. In a world where autonomous agents can flawlessly execute incredibly complex tasks, what's left for us to do? Our role is going to have to change. It's a massive shift away from doing the work and toward directing the work. Our most valuable skills are going to be strategic thinking, creativity, and asking the right questions, while we leave the actual execution to our new AI teammates.